You know, one of the interesting phenomena about life is that sometimes we are en route to doing something that we purpose in our own minds to do, and then we end up getting introduced to the very thing that it is that we're supposed to do. Okay? What do I mean by that? Why am I saying that? Give me an example, Matt. Well, this past weekend I did, and today, by the way, is Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. This past weekend I did a live broadcast on my YouTube channel and I do this weekly, guys. So if you're watching this and you're a subscriber and you have your notifications turned on and you get my community post updates, here for the foreseeable future, I will be polling you, the subscriber base, to ask you guys what things you would like to hear me talk about during live streams. But let me get back to this because this past weekend I did a live that came from the comments section of the community board. I did a post that said, what do you guys want to hear me talk about? And a specific user, or I say user, gosh, I'm still in IT mode from 10 years ago. I retired from IT 10 years ago. Anyway, a specific subscriber said to me, I would love to hear you talk about crystals. And I was like, you know what? That's an interesting topic because that is one that comes up a lot, referring to people who are or have been in the religious community, but felt a deep calling within them that suggested that there is more to life than what they've been learning in those four walls. There's more to them. There's more to their life's purpose, and they have not gotten it or have not received it within the walls of the church from their so-called pastor or pastors. So anyway, in my lead up to this, I knew exactly the example I wanted to use in the live, and that came from one of the apocryphal books, the book of Tobit. And in the book of Tobit, there is this story, and I don't want to rehash this, guys. I'll put a link in the description box below so that you can go and watch that live, watch the replay of that live broadcast. But anyway, the long and short of it is, within that story in the book of Tobit, there is this young man who is going to meet what is to be his future bride. And he's nervous because every person or every man that bride was wed to ended up dying in the marriage chamber. Now, for those of you who are not aware of how ancient marriages took place, you were not technically married until that marriage was consummated in the chamber, if you know what I mean. Consummated, if you know what I mean. So you weren't technically fully married until you joined in matrimony. Not, do you say I do? Do you say I do? Okay, I now pronounce you man. No, okay, yeah, whatever. That's new. That's Roman Catholic. That's Western. That's not the way they did it in the olden days. I mean, someone was betrothed to someone. They had a ceremony for them. And after that ceremony, they went into their chamber. And, hopefully both of them came out with smiles on their faces. If one of them came out with a smile on their face, that's a problem. If neither of them came out with a smile on their face, that's a problem. I'm sorry, y'all. My mom used to get on me when I was younger because she'd be like, Matt, you always got to take it that extra distance. Why, Matt? Why? It's just what I do. Like how are you going to know where the boundaries are unless you test them, right? Anyway, let me get back on point, y'all. So again, I want y'all to watch that live broadcast. But in that story, this man was, you know what? The best thing I can do for y'all is read a portion of that. So I'm going to, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I want to present this sort of like a lesson in school, if you will. I'm going to give you guys some reference scriptures, and I'm going to give you some vocabulary words that I want you guys to write down. So when I come back, I'm going to read an excerpt of that particular story from the book of Tobit to set the stage for today's video topic, which is whatever God has for you, whatever the Most High has for you, whatever is reserved for you, whatever is stored for you, whatever is written for you to have in the heavens, whatever is written in the stars for you, it is yours. And no man, no power, no force can ever take it away. Why? It's because you earned it. And that's going to show up in our vocabulary words. So when I come back, I'm going to read a passage of scripture from the book of Tobit. I'm going to give you guys the scriptures that I want you to write down and go back and read on your own, because these are going to be references for today's video. And then those vocabulary words, I want you to write them down. You may want to write down the definition, or you may want to take screenshots, pause the video, whatever, because they're going to support today's video. And I'm going to try to do that in a little bit, in a semi-rapid fashion. I mean, this intro already took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So anyway, family, y'all already know the running joke is when Matt says it's going to be a quick video, pause it and go pop some popcorn, all right? We'll be back watching Maddie's Rap with author Matt D. Talford. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Maddie's Rap with author Matt D. Talford. I'm your host, author Matt D. Talford, world-renowned author and storyteller, okay? Now, if you are new to my channel, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back, baby. You know Maddie loves you. You know Maddie loves you. Okay, now, so I want to jump right into this because, dare I say, I don't want this to be a long video, okay? All right, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently. As I mentioned in the introduction, I am going to give you guys some reference scriptures. Now, the first one is going to come from the book of Tobit. And let's see. Now, you guys, Tobit comes from the Apocrypha. It is one of the apocryphal books. And I said this for those of you that saw the live last weekend, I said this in that live. If you do not have the Apocrypha, you can download a free electronic version of it by downloading the KJVA app. KJVA. V as in Victor. KJVA. It stands for King James Version with Apocrypha. And it is available, last time I checked, in the App Store if you're on Apple, and the Play Store if you are on Google. Now, Tobit chapter 6. Tobit chapter 6. Now, I prefer that you read the entire book. It's only what? How many chapters is Tobit? The book of Tobit is a total of 14 chapters, but the video was centered around chapter number 6. I'm going to return to that today to illustrate the point, which is when God has something for you, it's yours and nobody can take it away, okay? Nobody can ever take it away. No person, no place, no thing, no power, no energy, no entity can ever take it away, okay? The only one that can mess up what's reserved for you is you. And you really can't mess it up. All you can do is delay it. But why delay something that's ready, right? Like if you order some food and they tell you it's 5 o'clock and you order dinner from your favorite restaurant and they say, okay, your dinner is going to be ready at 5:30. Why not be there at 5:30 or 5:25 to pick up your dinner? Why wait until 8 o'clock? You wait until 8 o'clock, you got to reheat it. Or they may say he's not coming to get it. Or, you probably prepaid for it anyway, so they probably just got it sitting somewhere. Go get your food, man. Go get your food, all right? Now, they say, Matt always talking about food. I like food, all right? I like food, all right? My friends say there's an inner, I don't want to offend nobody. I ain't going to say that word. I don't want to offend anybody. But some people get touchy about dimensions, all right? My inner gordo hombre, okay? My inner hombre gordo, okay? For those of y'all that understand Spanish, all right? I'm trying to, and I'm not even politically correct. Why am I doing it? My inner fat boy, all right? Inner fat boy. Everybody knows. Everybody knows me knows, there's a big guy inside that likes to eat food, okay? I'm not as bad as I used to be, though. Anyway, my health is very important to me. Now, y'all, let me stop bull jiving. Let me get on with this. Tobit chapter 6, okay? I'm going to read Tobit chapter 6. The other scripture references, I want you guys to write these down. Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 19 through 20. And there'll be a little thing at the bar at the bottom of the screen so you guys can pause the video and write these down or whatever. Tobit chapter 6 from the Apocrypha is reference number 1. Reference number 2, Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 20. The third reference is Romans chapter 8, verses 28 through 30. And the fourth scriptural reference, this is the last one, it comes from the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. Okay? I want you guys to write those down. Those are the references. I'm going to read them up front, and then I'm going to show you how they apply. All right? In fact, I'm not going to read Tobit first. I'll read that one last. And then I'll come back. I'll come back and show you how those scriptures that I pre-read feed into the narrative from the book of Tobit. Okay? There are also some vocabulary words that I want you guys to write down. The first vocabulary word that I want you to write down is karma. Karma, okay? The second vocabulary word is commensurate. 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 The third vocabulary word that I want you to write down is destine. 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 The fourth vocabulary word that I want you to write down is predestine. PREDESTINE. The fifth vocabulary word that I want you to write down is justify. 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 And the sixth and final vocabulary word is glorify. 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 All right? In fact, I'm going to read the definition of these vocabulary words first. Y'all, this is an exciting lesson I have for you guys. I'm excited to deliver it to you. So let's get on with it. Karma. Now, I'm going to read the dictionary definition of karma, but I like to have my own personal definition for it. And for me, personally, and some of you might agree, karma simply is payment that is commensurate with performance. Payment that is commensurate with performance. And that's why commensurate is the second vocabulary word. But let me give you the dictionary definition of karma first. Karma is a noun. It stems from Hinduism and Buddhism, which means the sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence, viewed as deciding their fate in future existence. Okay? And some informal definitions of karma, as you can see here on the screen, are destiny or fate following as effect from cause. All right? So that is karma. The next definition or the next vocabulary word is commensurate. Commensurate. And you can read along. I have it on the screen for you. Commensurate is an adjective that means corresponding in size or degree, in proportion. And they have an example here. Salary will be commensurate with experience. All right. Another one. Such heavy responsibility must receive commensurate reward. Sounds like karma, doesn't it? Sounds a lot like karma. The next word is destine. Let's write that down. Destine. Not write it down. I already got it. Okay. Destine is a verb that means intend or choose someone or something for a particular purpose or end. Now, what I have on the screen for you also here is the website I like to go to, Etym Online, which pretty much is the online etymology dictionary. Destine I like this, the etymology of it, okay? Middle 14th century word is destine, which means to set apart, ordain, or appoint to a use, okay? I like that one. I'm going to keep that one on the screen there just a little bit longer. Destine is a verb which means to set apart, ordain, or appoint to a use. Now, the next vocabulary word, the third one, is predestined. That one should be pretty easy, right? I mean, it's just, if destined means to set apart, ordain, or appoint to a use, then predestined must mean done in advance. Predestined, to foreordain or to decree beforehand. Predestined, ordain of God, and directly from Latin predestinare, which means determined beforehand. Something that is determined beforehand is predestined, okay? The next vocabulary word is justify. Justify. Justify is to show or prove to be right or reasonable, all right? If I were to use that informally, I would say to prove a point, okay? Justify. When you justify something, you're proving a point. You're proving a point. You're showing why you did something, okay? You're showing why you did something. I'm smiling because this is going to show up in this scripture, y'all. What do I say all the time, family? The Bible, the scriptures are not religious. They are spiritual in nature. The religious establishment hijacked them and doctored them and fashioned them into the doctrine of control. But in their purest form, they are spiritual principles. These ancient texts are spiritual principles, okay? Not counting the history part, okay? But even with that, there are lessons learned there that we can learn from, right? Anyway, the last vocabulary word is glorify. Okay. Let's go to the etymology on this one. Glorify is to praise, honor, extol God or a person. Also, vaunt, to be proud of, boast of, okay? Glorify. So if someone is being glorified, they're being vaunted. Their approval is on display. Hey, we are displaying our approval of this person. We are bragging on this person when we glorify them, okay? Athletes are glorified all the time, right? Especially if they're an MVP. They win the Super Bowl. They win the NBA Finals, whatever. They win the NHL Finals. They win the World Cup, okay? That person who scored that winning goal or that person who was the catalyst to that victory is often glorified, okay? Now, remember those vocabulary words. Next, we're going to move to the scripture, okay? And again, I'm going to read Tobit last, okay? Matthew 6:19 through 20, okay? This is y'all are it's so beautiful how this is going to come together. You watch. Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Okay? That's Matthew 6:19 through 20. The next reference comes from Romans chapter 8, verse 28 through 30. All right? Romans 8:28 through 30. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. I'm going to come back and do a personal edit, a personal opinionated edit, okay, for those of y'all that are Bible hardliners, as if the Bible hasn't been translated umpteen million times. Anyway, verse 28, I'll read it again. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose, the called, the chosen, according to his purpose. Watch this. Many are called, but few are chosen, right? Watch this. Verse 29, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Verse 30, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. All right? I'm laughing. Y'all, I'm going to take a minute and break this one down. Because I love this one. I'm smiling because when I looked at this today, and y'all, isn't it funny how we can hear scripture and read scripture our entire lives and still be shown something or receive a revelation of the same scriptures that we've read our entire lives at a later date and time? It is called the appointed time for a reason. It's called due season for a reason. Okay. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. We could also say that we know that all things work together for good to them that God loves, that he called according to his purpose. All right. If he didn't love you like that for that particular purpose, it's like a coach that has a kid on his team. He sits at the end of the bench. He's at every practice early. He stays late. He's bringing the towels. He's making sure everybody's taken care of, but he's not that good of a player. So that coach loves that kid's spirit, but he don't love him for the purpose of winning that game because he knows there's other players that can get it done, and that's not his strength. His strength is admonishing the team and making sure everybody keeps their motivation as high. Now, he's got a purpose, because if that team is in trouble, that guy right there, he's the one that can admonish them and let them know, why are y'all worried about losing this game, man? We beating everybody. Y'all are better than they are. So even that kid has a purpose. This is beautiful, y'all. This is beautiful. Sorry if that clap went into the mic and it was loud. That was not the intent. Anyway, let me continue. So the other way we could look at that, I told you I was going to do a personal edit. I like to look at it the other way too. For the good of them that God loves, whom he called according to his purpose. All right. Verse 29, for whom he did foreknow, meaning he knew you somewhere beforehand, right? For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate. So he knew you before, and because he knew you before, he predestinated you. Okay? He predestinated you. Do we need to look at that definition again? Predestined. Determined in advance by divine will or fate. Determined in advance by divine will or fate. By divine will. Divine. I hear some people that get mad because some people don't say God. They say the divine. Come on, y'all. It's time for us to grow up, y'all. It's time to take the training wheels off. Let's go. We're a lot greater than we've been given credit for. Okay, y'all? If he made you in his image, why are we still... Anyway. That's another story for another day. All right. Whom he did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son. All right. Now, some people got a rub with that. Some people, listen, I've read it. I've heard all of the stories. Some people think that this Messiah that walked through the lands of Israel around the turn of where it flipped from BCE to AD or CE, Okay. There are some people that got a problem with that story. I didn't read it, but I've heard of people talk about, man, read Caesar's Messiah, all of this. Listen, at some point, you either believe a story that you did not participate in, or you don't. That's really what it boils down to, what you believe. I personally do believe that there was a Messiah that walked through the lands of Israel, teaching that grew up in Egypt, that spent time in India, right? Spent time in India, and then came back and showed up on the scene as an adult and started performing all of these miracles and carrying out these great works. I firmly believe in that. Some people have a problem with that, but let's move past that, y'all. Let's work where we have common ground. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son. Let's do this then. If we want to look at it from the standpoint of the Christed one, the one who achieved that level of consciousness, that state of consciousness that is enlightenment, then he also did predestinate to be conformed to that image. Conformed to What's wrong with being conformed to the image of someone who reaches enlightened status? Let's not get wrapped around the axles around that, okay? But if you go on, it says that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. What is particular about the firstborn in any family? The firstborn is typically the example when they're high vibrational. I mean, if they're low vibrational, then you don't want the ones coming after that firstborn to act like that firstborn, right? But anyway, the firstborn is pretty much the example. It's the mold. So it says here that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. So many to follow. But let's skip on past that. Let's move on. Verse 30 is the kicker. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. What is justified? Justify is to prove a point. Okay? I'm calling whoever you are watching this video right now. I'm calling this person. And so whom he called, he also justified. Watch. After I call them, I'm going to show you why that's my pick. I'm picking them. And I'm going to show you why I picked them. Boom. Okay, now that I've proven to you why I picked them, now we're going to all glorify them. See? Didn't I pick a winner? Didn't I pick a winner? So when he's glorifying them, he's also getting the glory right back. Y'all, this is feeding in, okay? I'm going to read through this one more time. I know I've beaten that horse. We know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. His purpose. All things work together for those who are called according to his purpose. We're going to see that in Tobit. Next, for whom he did foreknow, he did also predestinate. Okay, verse 30. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. So that goes right back to 28. It's a loop. It goes right back to 28. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. I'm going to show y'all why I picked out. I'm going to show you why I picked Matt. I'm going to show you why I picked Matt to do what Matt doing. Boom. Boom. This is why people can copy you, but they can never be you. This is why people can copy you, but they can never be you. Why? Because when the justification comes, the test, some of y'all don't want to be tested. The test is the justification. When you pass the test, that's the proving. That's the proof of concept for those of y'all that are in that technology community or the corporate community where people are coming up with these new products or whatever, these new designs, and they have to do a proof of concept. I'm going to prove to you why this is a good thing, why we should be doing this. To prove it, you got to test it. It's got to stand up to the test. Whom he called, he also justified. Let me put them on display right here. This stuff happens in the heavens, y'all. It happens in the heavens and manifests in the earth. It happens in the stars and manifests in the earth. It happens in the cosmos and manifests in the earth. It happens in the ether and manifests in the earth. Whom he called, he justified. Let me show you why I picked him. Let me show you why I picked her. Let me show you. Boom. Now y'all see? Y'all see now. Okay, let's give them their just due. Let's glorify him now. Let's big up them. Yeah, I'm big upping them. Not only am I big upping them in word, I'm showering them with gifts. I'm showering them with abundance. I'm showering them with payment commensurate with performance. Y'all gonna catch it in a minute. Watch this. Y'all gonna catch it in a minute. That was Romans 8 and 28 through 30. Romans 8 and 28 through 30. Hope y'all wrote that down. All right. The next one, Jeremiah chapter 1. Let's go there right now. And then we're going to get on to the meat. This actually could be meat. I mean, technically, some of y'all don't even want the main course because the appetizer was so good, right? Anyway, don't go there. Don't go there. I know what some of y'all thinking because it came into my mind too. Okay? Don't go there. Anyway. All right, we can have fun with this thing, right? Because I told y'all I'm not a Christian anyway. And I'm not religious. All right? Are you religious or spiritual? Let me write that down. Y'all check that video out. That's another one I recorded for y'all because I love y'all so much. Are you religious or spiritual? Okay, got it. That's a video reference. There will be a link in the description box below so you can click on it after you're done watching this video. Now, Jeremiah chapter 1. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Ananoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. It also came in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, unto the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. Okay? Did they carry away the city or the people? All right, there you go. Anyway, for those of you who know, you know, okay? All right. When the Bible references Jerusalem, sometimes it's talking about the place, sometimes it's talking about the people, okay? Verse 4, actually, I probably should have just said Jeremiah 1 and 4 through 5 is probably what I should have done, but we're here. Verse 4, then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you, which means sanctified. When you sanctify something, you're setting it apart. Religion, church, Christianity has taught you that sanctify means to cleanse. But in its origin, it meant to set apart for a special purpose. Okay? Let me read that again. Verse 5, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. And before you came forth out of the womb, I sanctified you. I set you apart. And I ordained you a prophet unto the nations. All right. So y'all really, the first of it, verses 1 through 3 are like set up. That's backstory. Verses 4 and 5 are what I really want y'all to remember. Jeremiah 1 and 4 through 5. There's a reason why I read that passage of scripture. There is a reason why I read the other ones. Let's get on to the meat, y'all. Okay. Now, those of you that saw the live broadcast on last weekend, then this will be a little bit redundant, but let's go on anyway. So, the backstory again, this young man is going to go meet a wife. I told y'all that. I won't repeat it. They're on their journey now, okay? And as they went on their journey, they came in the evening to the river Tigris, and they lodged there. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him. And the angel said unto him, take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. To whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. Okay? Now, verse 6, I'm going to skip down. Then the young man said to the angel, brother Azarias, that's the name of the angel he was talking to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall of fish? And verse 7, he tells him, concerning the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit troubles anyone, or troubles any, we must make a smoke thereof, meaning make a smoke out of the gall and of the heart and the liver. If a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. Okay? All right. So now, when we skip down, we know the story. Let's skip down to verse 16. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume, meaning whatever incense or whatever they were burning to keep the room nice smelling or whatever. Thou shalt take the ashes of perfume and shalt lay upon them some of the heart and liver of the fish and shall make a smoke with it. And the devil shall smell it and flee away and never come again any more. But when thou shalt come to her, rise up both of you and pray to God, which is merciful, who will have pity on you and save you. Fear not, for she is appointed unto you from the beginning. And thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children. Now, when Tobias had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was effectually joined to her. So he was supposed to go and marry this woman, and the story was everybody that she married died. They never got to consummate that marriage, okay? There was an evil spirit in that chamber. I'm going to show y'all now how Romans 8 and 28 comes together right here. There was an evil spirit about that chamber. Let me go back. Let me go back here. Okay, let's go back to verse 10. The angel said unto the young man, brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin. He also hath one only daughter named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. For to thee doth the right of her appertain. So he had rights to her, seeing thou only art of her kindred. Okay? So I guess wherever she was, they weren't, the ancient Israelites, they didn't marry people that was outside of their tribes, okay? They had to marry someone that was from their tribes, from their nation, all right? Then the young man said unto the angel, brother Azar, I skipped ahead, sorry, y'all. Verse 12, and the maid is fair and wise, meaning she's beautiful and intelligent, highly intelligent, wise, all of that. Beauty, got looks and brains, beauty and brains. Now, therefore, hear me, and I will speak to her father, and when we return from Rages, we will celebrate the marriage, for I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses, okay? Skip down to verse 13, and the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid hath been given to 7 men, who all died in the marriage chamber. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid lest if I go in unto her, meaning when I go to do, I die too, as the others before. For a wicked spirit loves her, which hurteth nobody but those which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father's and my mother's life because of me to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. Okay, so basically, he was telling them that this wicked spirit, this wicked entity, this low vibrational energy, spirit, demon, whatever you want to call it, was about this woman. Now, if you want to ask my opinion, I think it was a spirit that had passed on of somebody who loved her in life that didn't get to be with her, wanted her, whatever, wanted her for itself. What I have no idea, but I will tell you this. Okay, let me back up. That was my initial thought. Okay, and it could still be true. This spirit basically killed anybody that tried to go in and consummate a marriage with her. Okay, now some would say, well, man, that woman was cursed. Was she really? Was she really? Let me show y'all back. Let's go back to Romans 8 and 28. Let's go back to Romans 8 and 28. I'm going to show you how this ties together. Remember, what God for you is for you. It says, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. All right? Who are called according to his purpose. What purpose here? What purpose here? Let's have a look. The purpose is in verse 17. He said, I suppose that she shall bear you children. Okay? There was a child, perhaps some special child, perhaps some anointed child that was to come forth from that union, who perhaps had to be joined with another woman, say if it were a man, or another man if it were a woman, to produce another child that produced another child that brought forth some special child at some point in the future. But it can only come through that lineage and the joining of them two. Okay? Okay? But these things are not always revealed. How do we know that? Because the angel didn't even know. What is yours is yours. It can never be taken away. It can never be taken away. The angels don't even always know what God's purpose is for you. Only God does. It's written in your Akashic records. I'm hearing people in the spiritual community right now talking about they're picking up that there are people in the other side of the spiritual community trying to tap into people's Akashic records to find out who they are and what the details of their purpose is. I told y'all, this spiritual warfare heating up because we're getting toward the end. Any military historian will tell you that the bloodiest battle of any war is typically the final one. This spiritual warfare hot right now, y'all. The forces of darkness know that their time is up. So they're trying their damnedest to find out who these special chosen ones are and what their purpose is. And they can't find out. You see right here in verse 17, the angel didn't even know. He said, I suppose that she's supposed to bear you children. Why else would y'all be getting married and joining together? I suppose she's supposed to bear you children. I suppose an anointed, a golden child, something special is supposed to come through your lineage. Either a child or a grandchild or a great-grandchild or a great-great-grandchild. There's a purpose. Only God knows it's in your records. Matthew. Let's go back to Matthew. All things. I'm going to tie this together, y'all, and we're going to get out of here. I'm close. Let's go back to Matthew. All right? Verse 19, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. If the Messiah taught that, that tells you right there, that's the evidence. No thief from this realm, the physical realm, nor the ethereal realm can tap in and see what God got in store for you. Why? Because what he got for you is only for you. And no power, no force can stop it. Only you, if you allow yourself to be delayed. But if God really wants you to have it in an appointed time, he will make the heat so hot that you can't even delay yourself. I know this message is for somebody listening. Okay? He will make that thing so hot that you got to move in the direction you're supposed to move in so you can get what's yours. Because it's due to you. But see, your lower self doesn't know these things. Because if your lower self knew, you could probably mess it up. But your higher self does. Y'all watch me. I teach a lot of spirituality. You have an oversoul, a superconscious that knows these things. Your superconscious knows what's due to you. Your superconscious knows what's due to you. But your physical embodiment, your consciousness does not know. It's above your pay grade. It's above your physical pay grade, okay? So why is that important? Why is that important? Going back to the karma thing. All right? Going back to the karma thing. What is karma? We just read it. We just read what karma is. Karma. The sum of a person's actions in this and previous states of existence viewed as deciding their fate in future existences. Okay? We read that. What's that other vocabulary word? Commensurate. I call karma payment commensurate with performance. You get what's coming to you. Karma. When people hear karma, they think it's bad. All karma is the sum of your actions, as viewed as deciding their fate in the future existences. So it is payment commensurate with performance. You get back what you put out, but you get it in abundance. That's the beauty of how the universe works. Why does it work that way? Because either you're being rewarded and showered with gifts and abundance, or you're being rewarded and showered with an abundance of lessons. If you are doing something to cause harm, you have to get an abundance more than the harm you caused in order for you to learn your lesson. Y'all go watch my video on universal balance sheets. When you take something that is sitting at equilibrium, you move it 90 degrees this way, it's on a swing. You got a string, you got a little ball or something, it's sitting at equilibrium. It's not moving. You take it and you pull it 90 degrees in one direction and let it go, it's going to swing past that center point several times before it settles back down. You better hope that where you pulling it 90 degrees is to the good and not 90 degrees to the bad. Because you're going to get back more. It's got to go further than you can't. Listen, if you and me both got $200 in wages at the end of the week, and you steal my $200, well, you got $400 to the good, because we both started with nothing. But I got paid $200, you got paid $200, you took my $200, now you $400 to the good, I'm zero. Guess what has to be done to you via the universal law, the universal ordinances? For you to see what it felt like for me to lose $200, you got to lose $400. You got to lose $400. You might have to lose more than that, depending on the intent of your heart. But you don't get to just take $200 from me and then give me back $200. It don't work that way. All you did was just make me whole. But what God gonna do, he gonna take that $400 from you and give it back to me, and guess what I got now? I got my $200 plus your $200. And now you got nothing. And you begging and pleading that, Lord, if you could just give me my $200 back, I'll do the right thing the next time. That's how these things work. This is how universal law works. This is how karma works. Now, if you take your $200 and somebody comes along and says, man, I just don't know how I'm gonna make it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. And you're like, man, $200 is just gonna get me. That's just gonna get me to breaking even, man. I'm gonna pay my bills off, have some groceries, whatever. Tell you what, man. 100 to the grocery, 150 to the bills, 50 to the groceries, and that'll hold me to my next paycheck. I'll tell you what, this man needs this more than me. I'm gonna pay my 150 in bills so I don't get put out, and I just let God. I let God find a way to just give me something to feed my family. You gave away 150. You gave away 50. Your last 50, so that this man can have something or whatever. You paid your bills. You gave away your last 50, so this man could have something. Or maybe you gave away the whole 200 because he was that destitute. Guess what God gonna give you? He gonna give you back your 200 plus 200 more, if not more on top of that. It has to work that way. Otherwise, it would be out of balance. So this is why. All right, I'm not gonna teach that universal law. That wouldn't apply to this. That wouldn't apply to this. Karma, y'all. So why does karma play out here? Because perhaps this soul. Remember, I read, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Right? So you were somewhere else. That proves the karma. That's me justifying this whole speech on karma. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. He knew you somewhere else. If you were predestined, if you were preordained, that means something was written for you before you arrived in this realm, meaning you had to exist somewhere else. And perhaps what you are predestined for is tied to what your performance was the last time you existed somewhere. So this man was gifted with a beautiful, arguably, she was probably the most beautiful woman around at that time. She was a beautiful woman and she was wise. She was beautiful and she was wise. But guess what? All things work together, right? So I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. For those of y'all that think that this evil spirit was there, that was just sitting out and hanging out and just, I'm going to kill everybody that come in here to this woman. That evil spirit was there to make sure that this young man right here got everything that was coming to him. Why didn't the 7 other men before that, why didn't they receive an instruction on how to drive that spirit out? Why? Because that was not theirs. Perhaps they were souls that knew what he was predestined for somehow, whatever, some way. Or maybe they were just jealous souls. Maybe they're just people that show up, they don't even know what you got, but when they see you flossing whatever it is, I want what you got. They didn't even want it till they saw it. They had no desire for it till they saw you with it, now they want it. That's for somebody. I don't know who that's for. I've heard stories. Anyway, oh man, I'm reminded of a story from when I worked at, I won't name the company, when I worked at corporate America, all right? Oh man, the guy came right out and said, when the boss was gone, the guy came right out and said, I want his job. Really? And he said, when I saw him, when he came in, this particular individual was the customer. If my boy that was there was watching this, you know who I'm talking about. This particular person was the client. He was the customer. He was the client. When he saw how this dude right here moved, he said, I want his job. Eventually, he got his job. But guess what? He found out he couldn't do it like him. So he didn't stay in it 9 months. He did not stay in that job 9 months. That story for somebody. That's going to help somebody. Don't worry about it. Listen, what is yours, and nobody can ever take it away. So that spirit that we thought was evil, that spirit was actually sent there to guard. That spirit was sent there to guard this man's reward until he showed up. When you read the book of Tobit, when you read that story, guess what happened? When God sent the angel there to ensure. The angel was security. The angel came with the security and the instruction. And guess what? God caused that fish to jump up out of the water. I told y'all, nothing's random. Nothing is ever random. That fish jumped up so that it could be both what? Food for them for that evening, but also because its bowels were to serve to drive that wicked spirit away. That wicked spirit didn't even know its time was up. When that man showed up, he said, okay, I got 7 of them. Here come number 8. He took that heart and that liver and put it on them embers. That spirit had to go. Y'all read the rest of the story. I said it was comical the way I dropped it in the live, so y'all check that out. But I'm gonna wrap this one up, family. I wanted to illustrate to y'all that all things work together. If something seems like it's evil in your life, if something seems like it's evil, there's something making you afraid that is keeping you from something that is yours, go through it anyway. Because if it's yours, you're going to get it. This is how you can remove fear. If it's yours, you're going to get it. If it's not yours, you can't have it anyway. So move forward with faith. Move forward with the faith. Listen, if God tells you that something is yours, no one can ever take it away from you. But don't be afraid of any low vibrational energies that's around your stuff. Just keep moving toward what's yours. You're going to get it. What God has for you, no man can take away. No power can take away. No force can take away. Nobody can tap into your Akashic records and find out the details, okay? Some stuff is written in the stars. You can look at a birth chart and you can sort of ascertain what a person's purpose is, but you cannot get any details about it. Because they don't even get the details till the details show up. They don't even get the details till the details show up. It's like one of them special forces operations where they say, hey, we need to go drop you in this country over here to do this mission. And you don't find out the mission and the mission details till you get there. That's for a reason. That's for a reason. It's called a controlled environment. It's called information security. It's called access control. We can't let you get near that until it's time for you to get near it. You might mess it up. Lay not up for yourself earthly treasures, all right? Lay not up for yourself earthly treasures. Y'all, let me tell you something about Matt. For some reason, I understood at an early age that there was more to life than this. And I said, you know what? Maybe I don't get to be in the NBA. That bothered me. When I went in the Army, came out, I was like, man, I should have played high school. I'm looking at guys who are my peers now. They're getting drafted into the professional sports. And some of these guys are college standouts. And I'm like, man, I should have worked a little bit harder at sports, man. That looks dope right there. But that's not what God created me to do. I wanted to box. Was good at it when I was younger. My dad wouldn't let me do it competitively. He wouldn't let me do it competitively. Wanted to box. I just knew I was going to be a champion. I knew I was going to be an Olympic gold medalist and a world champion. My dad was like, nah, I can't let you do it, son. Your grade's too good. I tried to box and when I went in the Army. The very platoon sergeant that hated my guts. I'm thinking, okay, this is a wrap then. All I got to do is bring this application, tell him, hey, I want to join the post-boxing team. I already got an endorsement from this guy over here. I'll be out of his hair. The very guy who hated my guts said, nah, I can't let you go. You're one of my best medics. Damn. So I get out of the Army and I say, okay, you know what, man? I'm going to go over here and start training at this local boxing gym and maybe go the Golden Gloves route and see what happens. Wasn't to be. The training time was interfering with my job and my school. Okay? I was training there for a little while, but then my job changed and said, no, we don't want you to do 8-hour shifts no more because I would go there after I got off work. We want you to do 12-hour shifts now. You're now, instead of you being 7 to 3:30, you're now 7 to 7:30 p. That was not what God had for me. But now that I understand astrology, now that I understand how to read a natal chart, I know that was never in my that was not in my life purpose. My life purpose is doing exactly what I'm doing right now. So God paved the way. God would not allow me to do that thing which I was not called to do. I'm doing what I was called to do right now. That's for somebody. I'm sharing this story for somebody. Somebody needs to hear that. You're on the right path. You are on the right path. Don't let anybody shake you off of it. And let me tell you something. If God told you that something is yours, don't let nobody scare you off of it. That young man was scared until that angel told him what the playbook was. Oh, no, don't worry about that evil spirit, man. When you go in the bedchamber, there's a reason why I had you hang them guts up. When you go in the bedchamber, take that heart and that liver. 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 Watch, I'm going to show y'all something. He just gave it to me. Take that heart and that liver. Where that heart come from? The fourth chakra. Chakra number 4. Where that liver come from? Chakra number 3. Third chakra is what? The solar plexus chakra. That is divine masculine energy. That is your central sun. What is that fourth chakra? That's your heart chakra. That's divine feminine energy. So you're talking the union of divine masculine and divine feminine. That's God force power right there. That's your central core. I did a video talking about that. Y'all check the link in the description box. The title escapes me right now. But to check the link in the description box. So now watch this. He said take that heart and that liver. If the heart is chakra 4 and the liver is chakra number 3, you combine them two numbers. What number is that? That's number 7. Somebody know what to do with that. Somebody know what to do with that. Somebody know what to do with that. That's the power of 7 right there. That's the power of 7. Somebody know what to do with that. Drove that evil spirit clean out of there, never to return again. Poor woman, she probably thought she wasn't never going to have a husband. She said, man, everybody get married to us. Not him, I like him. He's cute, he's nice, I like him. He thinking, Lord, I'm my parents' only child. Lord, you gonna take away their only child? Man, look, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Somebody know what to do with that. Listen, if you're new to the channel, you like being inspired, you like being entertained, you like being motivated, you like being uplifted, you like being educated, hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell up to all so that you receive a notification each time I upload a new video. And thank you to the subscriber who let me know that people are being unsubscribed from my channel. See, this is what's happening in the truth community, y'all. People who are dropping truth, people who are shining the light in dark places, the darkness don't like it. I had a subscriber. Thank you. God knows I love you. Thank you so much. Your words, just what you left in that comment telling me, that encouraged me heretofore. I will never, ever again. I doubted y'all. I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to share this and I'm going to go. I doubted my own work. I was looking at my numbers. I was like, Lord, why you got me doing this? Like, I feel like I'm putting so much energy into this and I don't feel like it's, and I just shut my mouth just now because I don't even want to say what I thought. I don't even want to say what I thought. And God was like, how many times I got to tell you, Matthew, stop looking at the numbers. Stop looking at the numbers. Those numbers that you're seeing are deceptive. Stop looking at those numbers. I know, but Lord, I work so hard and this ain't for you, Matthew. This is for somebody else. I gave you the knowledge and you're using it for you. When I give you the knowledge, you learn it from it then, but it's for somebody else. You can't stop. And God sent this sister by to say, I looked up and I was unsubscribed from your channel. And I know I was subscribed to it. So I subscribed again. And then she said, I looked under your last video and I had a thumbs down on it. And she said, I don't thumbs down anybody's videos. She said, I'll give the video a thumbs up or I'll just keep it moving. And she said, here was a thumbs down under me on my account, for your video. So y'all, I'm telling y'all what's happening. This is the latter stages. This is it. This is the end game right here. Y'all stay focused, family. Stay focused and stay high vibrational. Check your emotions against the chart that you see on the screen here all the time. Check your emotions. If it's below the midline, figure out what got you in that energy and then pull yourself out of it. It is so important that we stay high vibrational right now. I'm losing my voice a little. No, I'm not. I'm not losing my voice. Voice is just a little bit challenged right now. I need to drink something and it's lunchtime for me, y'all. So listen, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna edit this video and we get this uploaded for y'all tonight. I love y'all, family. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. I'm an award-winning author. There are links in the description box below. If you want to read the synopses of what I've written, you buy the book, you download it, download the ebook version. From Fear to Faith, The Survivor's Story is available in audiobook as well. It's the only one I have in audiobook. But you buy the printed book from my website, www.topitarts.com. Whichever format you choose, you will see why awards committees gave me, why they glorified me, since that's a vocabulary word. You will see why these awards committees glorified me. Okay? All right? You are chosen. You are special. You are loved. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. Love is a verb. It is a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun always takes care of itself. I love you guys. Peace.